Are you?
You on? We on. It's recording.
Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, let's start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to apostles, elders, and great millstone. Salutation to all you Akim pushing the truth and sincerity. And go ahead with that Sirach too, brother. Start at one.
This Sirach, or Ecclesiastes, in Apocrypha, chapter 2. Chapter 2, verse 1. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, how prepare thy soul for temptation."
Yeah, so when we come into this truth, we become a prey. You know what I mean? Because now we're being made righteous. The scriptures talk about basically a man that cleaned his house. So when you start getting into this word and you start getting rid of your old demons, those demons see that the house is swept and garnished. They want to come back, man. And they want to bring worse demons than them. They want to bring friends. So you gotta have it in your mind, and it's like the battle that we fighting right now. Satan gonna try to come with everything, man. The biggest enemy in this truth right now is ourselves. If we can defeat ourselves, defeat this flesh. This is small potatoes.
Israel.
Go ahead. I got it. Yeah, I won't be again.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3. It says, "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. No man that warreth entangle himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier." So like the brother was talking about, you're going to have these different demons trying to come back when the spirit already took over, man. And what they're going to bring, they're going to bring your old habits, your bad habits, you know what I'm saying, your imbalances and stuff, just so they can take you over again, man. Because it's a fight for the throne. The throne is your temple, you know what I'm saying, to point you in a certain path, man.
And now that you said that, grab 1 Corinthians 9, that striving for mastery. Yeah, because even the things that are lawful, Satan, things that we can do, Satan will try to get you in that, whether it be like excess of women, drinking, anything. He'll even use the lawful things to try to pull you out of this truth. Anything he can think to use against you, he will, man.
Yeah, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 9, starting at verse 24. It says, "Know ye not that they which run in a race run all?"
Let's go one verse. We're talking about being holy.
Verse,
I think it's 8, right?
Verse 8.
No, just go up one verse.
All right, verse 23. 1 Corinthians 9 and 23. It says, "And this I do for the gospel's sake, that I might be partaker thereof with you. Know ye not that they which rule that one run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize?"
That's a lot of things about whole different scripture. But yeah, we're running this race, man. And a race, people start off hot in the race. Like say you run in a marathon, everybody starts off hot. But then, like say you got 20 people with you, this is like a 20-mile race or something. 10 miles in, you're not gonna see all those people around. And then like, as you get to the end of the race, people are gonna start doubting. They're gonna I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. And but then you gotta pray to the Lord. Hey, it's like you gotta pace yourself in this thing. You know what I mean? We're running that race, and we see the end game. You gotta keep looking for that end game. If you stop looking for that end game, you'll fall. You don't want to give up.
It says, "So run that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things."
That mastery is basically going into keeping your body in a subjection, man. And another word, that temperance is going into keeping your body in subjection. And when you temper something, it means to be made hard. Like tempered glass, or like I always bring up the analogy of like making a spear. You dig a hole in the ground and you take that wood and you keep rolling that wood over a small fire till all the impurities are brought out. Just like us, we being made hard right now. So we're gonna go through these afflictions. Everybody looks at us like we fucking nothing. We might not deal with the women we want to deal with. It's gonna be hard on every side. But when it's our time to shine, like during the time of Jacob's trouble, it's gonna be known that we the men of the Lord, man. We're not gonna be out here like these people when this shit really cracks. These people gonna be out here running around with their head cut off as a duck. We stable right now because we have the scriptures, man. We going through the afflictions now, so when it comes upon the whole world, we're not gonna be like them. We're gonna be able to eat. We're gonna be quiet. You know what I mean? They're gonna be erratic and fucking emotional. They die in grievous deaths, but the Lord is gonna shield us from all that.
And then another thing is that with these different afflictions that we go through, it teaches us patience. know, some things stretch out a little bit longer than other things. Some things you get right through. But when it comes down to these people and stuff, they get it all the time. It's like snapping a finger. So when that change and stuff gets spread out, they're not going to be able to take it.
And see, the thing is, it's one thing being assured. Now we're constantly reassuring ourselves that we know these things. We know these things to be true. We know we're the Israelites. We know who the enemy is. We know who the righteous is. And we knowing that, that's how we navigate out here. You know what I mean? That's how we move. So it's like, hey, we got to constantly just have it in our minds. That it's like, hey, until the end come, Bob shall grab. I think it's First Peter. I think it's First Peter 9, and like 3.
You said First Peter 9?
Yeah, First Peter 3.
This is verse 25. It says, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things, meaning well balanced. And it says, now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, and look how these people are. You know, they try to get the money, the cars, clothes, and clothes, just so they can get everything right now.
Y'all know where Navy Pier is?
You got a grand, all the way up the grand, and then go south. I mean,
You look like
No, put your
this
hand
man
on
too.
that.
This man, y'all blessed.
Likewise.
Good vibes. Like I felt it like when I came off.
Hey, read that again.
Thank you.
all right, this is
Yeah, be careful, man.
1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25. It says, and every man that strive for the mastery is temperate in all things.
Right.
Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible.
Right, and some people teach this word incorrectly, man, because they want a fame, or they want great riches, or they want a big congregation, all right, to get what tithes, man. A lot of people teach this word for incorruptible reasons, man. But we do this sincerely, all right? We're not doing this for any ulterior motives, right? But to hopefully wake up the elect through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's it. That's the point, because we want to get the hell out of here, man. Not have riches and prosper on this side like that, especially off the word, man. Go ahead.
Verse 26, it says, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. Meaning we ain't doing this for no reason. There's a reward in the end. When you in a boxing match and stuff, you fight to win, not fight to lose. You know? Hey, the ones for the corruptible crown and stuff, they take that loss because they know they get paid underneath the table. You know? But when it come down to ones that's actually trying to get the championship and get that belt, they keep going, man, despite all the odds.
Hey, the thing is, we know we won. We just gotta make it to the end. We got everything to make it to the end. We know what the end consists of. Like these people, they don't know what the end. They don't know what foretells for their quote unquote future, man. We know what our future is as long as we make it to the end, man. Our whole mission, even if we die, that still means we made it to the end. As long as we died doing this, you know. And some of us are gonna be martyrs. Some of us are gonna basically make it on the first go round. But we that's one thing that we assured of. You know, like I was telling you earlier, Satan's gonna try to make you doubt these things. That's his whole purpose, is to make you doubt. If he knows he can make you doubt, that means he has that chance of winning, man. That's why you gotta nip those, like when you hear those demons speaking, you gotta nip that shit in the butt. You gotta call on the name of the Lord and rebuke Satan, man. Like you rebuke those demons, they flee.
This is
Hold on.
This which one is the one you wanted, the one you called for?
Yeah, you can just say it's only one verse.
And it says 1 Peter 1 and 17. It says and if ye call up on the Father, who without respect of persons judgeth according to every man's work, pass the time of your sojourning here in fear.
So yeah, we sojourn in a strange land. So of course we got sent to this side of the world as a punishment. But while we over here, we're not trying to really like prosper like that. We're trying to prosper in these scriptures. So when the Lord comes back, we be upon our watch. You know, if we see the enemies breaching the wall, you know, and we give out that warning, you know, not everybody's set to be a prophet, but even if you still quote unquote Israelite, for lack of better words, everybody's on that watch. You gotta watch first and foremost yourself.
Jewish? Are you guys the lost tribe?
We are the lost tribes.
You're Jewish people.
No, we the Israelites. But let me just stay on this one point real quick.
We're the lost tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I know all about that stuff.
Reread that.
It says 1 Peter 1 and 17. And ye call on the Father, who without respect of persons judgeth according to every man's works, pass the time of your sojourning here in fear.
The fear, of course, is the keeping of the commandments. What it said in Hebrews, Noah moved with fear to the preparing of the ark. So we know Noah prophesied over 100 some odd years. He warned the people of the rain. He warned of the destruction. They didn't believe it, so they got caught out there.
Good evening, fellas.
Us, we know and we believe, hey, and we take heed to the warnings. That's applying what we learned. Really, that fear is going to be that great motivator because fear makes people move. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if your dad tells you to do something, the only reason you're really doing it is because you know, of course, it's your father, but then you know if you don't do it, what comes with it? That ass whooping. So we're moving with fear. You know what I mean? And that's what's going to really, it all goes hand in hand. That fear is the application of the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding we learn, and that's what's going to keep us from basically seeing these judgments out here.
1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 27. I'll read 26 again. It says, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I not as one that beateth the air.
Yeah, so we not shadow boxing out here, man. Like I play pool, right? And these people who like really play for real, they don't play for they only play for money. They're not just playing just to play. You know, we're playing for real, man. We're playing for keeps. So it's like we are sure of these things, man. We know the Lord. We know who the Lord is. We know what He's coming back for. We know who He's gonna deliver. And that's hey, I see that put a smile on your face. Put a smile on my face too, because that's what's gonna keep us, man. Knowing these things.
It says, verse 27. It says, but I keep under my body, and I bring it into subjection.
Yeah. So you got the power of those demons. Never don't think you don't have the power of those demons, man. As long as you are in this word, you know, you're applying it, you have the power over those demons. We were granted the spiritual power to exercise those demons, man. Scriptures talk about us doing even greater works than Yahweh Shai. And Yahweh Shai rebuked the demons. That was the greatest, he is the Son of God. He's the greatest prophet, man. And we got those same covenants. We got the same blessings, man. So when Satan comes, don't think you don't have the power. You know what I mean? Satan is a strong angel, but hey, Yahweh Shem Shai is stronger, man. And just remember that's his job to do those things. So like, don't get frustrated. We just gotta accept it. It's like, all right, you know, this is happening for a reason, and it's a test. Knowing these things, you can beat it. It's when you get wrapped up in your emotions or you start second guessing and doubting. That's when it can beat you.
Right, the scripture says, greater is He that's within us. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna be weak at times. It says in Matthew 26 and 41 that the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So guess what? It's gonna be times when you get weak and stuff, but guess what? You can still fight it off, man. You know?
Right.
Hey, and another thing is that every day is a test, but guess what? You're not gonna win every test, and that the test that you fail is just so you can recollect on it later on. When this test come again, now you can pass it again, and then you can also help another brother that go through. You know. So it says, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself shall be a castaway.
Meaning you don't want to be a hypocrite with this. All right. You don't want to tell others to walk this path and do it the straight and narrow way, but you fucking up. All right. So you're gonna get cast away. But you're going to end up saving another brother, right? So the word really was unprofitable unto yourself. Why? Because you didn't apply it, all right? Or you didn't trust in it. You didn't have faith in it. But that brother got some.
This is 1 Timothy 6 and 12. Fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses. And this is an ongoing fight, because the scripture says that the flesh and the spirit are contrary towards one another. So they're constantly fighting. So it's an ongoing battle, just like Yahweh Shai, how Yahweh Shai defeated Satan. He defeated him by the scriptures, man. And because the scriptures, Yahweh Shai is the word, you know. And with the scriptures, we defeat Satan. All right. Let's say you have a adulterous thought in your mind. Cut it with the scriptures, man. All right. The scriptures say that Yahweh Shai say even if a man has an kind of having that adulterous thought, even him just like that you're going off.
You got to fight.
This is Galatians 5 and 17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to another, the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. You know, the spirit and the flesh are constant in battle.
Hey, like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes, like, when I be at the laundromat and, like, I be having this spirit of, like, just loneliness and sadness. Only thing that make me happy is, like, you know, preaching and telling people that they Israelites. Should I do that?
Nah, really work on you. Really, it's gonna start off.
You gotta build yourself up first. Because most of those people have sincere questions and you can't answer them. You know how the brother was pulling you aside, telling you about going to the Hebrew language and the alphabet and the characters, and you told him this is gonna take a long time to learn. You need to build yourself up first, and then teach, and then preach. All right. First, you gotta get that foundation. You got something?
Yeah. It's that the book of Sirach, chapter 2, and verse. I'm gonna let this thing go fast. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2, and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Right. It's going. You gotta. When you come into the truth, you know, you gotta prepare yourself for temptation. You know, going back to the what the brother was talking about with them demons, man. You know how they take over your mind. They go trying to conquer your mind, man. You gotta, you know, you gotta pray to Yahweh Shem Yahshua to rebuke that demon, man. You know, you can't let it overtake you, man, because once they get a hold of you, you know, it's over with, man. You go fall right back into the same trap you just came out of, man. You know? And, yeah, man. And that temptation is an ongoing battle, too. You know?
And it never stop, man. It ain't gonna stop till we finally get that victory, man, which is salvation. All right? It's constantly getting refined. Because it tells you that this thing is like a furnace of affliction that the Lord is taking us through. He compares us to being gold refined, man. So we burn out all those impurities. So when he finally appears, guess what, man? We're gonna be shining, man. We're gonna be ready. Okay?
It says that we shall be like him when he comes.
And he's that perfect example, man. He overcame the world. So guess what? We gotta overcome. You got it?
Yeah, this is 2 Peter 1 and 10. It says, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fall. So it says, give diligence. In order for you to be diligent, you got to keep doing it over and over. Practice makes perfect. You learn from your mistakes. See?
Rehearse the righteous act.
It's another one.
The thing is, hey, it don't happen overnight, man. It takes time, you know. Hey, and that's the thing. It's like when you're going through like a refining process, you are gonna be lonely. Hey, the men of the Lord, they were loners, man. They were lonely, man. Hey, John talks about how he was sleeping outside, the camel hair garment, his pillow was a rock. Hey, the Lord used to go on these fasts and whatnot. He's just gonna be by himself in the forest. You know what I mean? That's how we are, man. And that's what, you know, you're gonna spend more time battling your thoughts and really meditating upon your thoughts, you know, working on yourself. You know, it's not necessarily, I get what you say, it does make you happy to do that, but really you got to get built up first, man. It's going to start off all with you. Because the biggest enemy that we fight in this truth is really us. You know, we're constantly fighting that old man. Yeah, there's snares and traps all throughout the world, but it's really fighting us. Once we can conquer us, then you know, then you move forward.
Right.
You have something?
Come. This is Acts 8 and 30. And Philip ran thither to him and heard and read the prophet Isaiah, and said, understandest thou what thou readest? And he said, how can I, except some man should guide me? And he and Philip said, how can I, except some man should guide me? And he desired Philip that he will come up and sit with him. Just like what the elder was talking about. Before you teach, you gotta build yourself up. You know, because you don't want to be teaching something that you don't know, and then casting, giving them false information. You know, that says right here, Philippians 2 and 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, But now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Worketh in you both to will and do of his good. Alright? So we gotta work on ourselves. We gotta work on our salvation. Philippians 2 and 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not in my presence only, but now much more in my absence.
That's the thing, because when we together as a body, it's a lot easier. You know, it's because the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shah is always with us. But he's definitely in the scriptures say he's definitely in the congregation when 2 or 3 are gathered, and he's in the midst. But when we on our own journeys, our own walk, it become that much more harder. Because now it's just really you and it's you and the spirit. You gotta, that's enough. But it's like we're gonna constantly be tried. You know, and the whole thing is not in the absence. It's really applying it. Like I was saying, like when you get tried, you may have like those 4 or 5 scriptures that pop in your head. It's when we don't implement those scriptures, then we start getting sidetracked. You know what I mean? You start looking up. You start deviating from the spirit. You gotta constantly keep applying those, reinforcing those scriptures, man. And that's the whole thing. And that's like a big vibration in Israel right now. We all know scriptures. The thing is, are we applying them? We can know them, but are we actually doing them? That's the thing right now. Keep going up.
It says, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
We got to work out our own salvation. We constantly gonna be by ourselves. We alone more than we are together. And that's when like when you in your leisure time, the scriptures say that's when you got to get your study in there. That's when you gonna get really the most wisdom is when you by yourself. That's when you really got time to do that soul searching, to do the reading, watch the videos. That's actually beneficial to you. Like the scriptures also say, don't forsake the assembling of yourselves. Anytime you can't be with the brothers, be with them. But more than likely, you're gonna be by yourself the majority of the time. And that's so you gotta keep getting built up. Let me get this one.
It's 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. It says, study to show thyself approved unto the Most High. A workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Right. So you gotta study to be approved. You gotta really understand this thing. You got a lot of people that's parrots. They can regurgitate stuff. They really don't have the understanding of what they're saying, man. All right? You gotta have this and know it, and have how Shai really sup with you, man. So you can really understand this word. So when you're in a situation, like you say, you feel like preaching at the laundromat, and you say you're an Israelite, then what's next? All right? Can you really lead that person? Can you really feed that person's spirit? Can you go deeper? All right, so something has to come after that. It starts with first getting into it, man, getting built up.
Right, because the scripture says to be apt to teach. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure that you able to, because you got people that's looking up to you and stuff, and it's like, oh, this is the guy that's going to lead the way. So you got to make sure you have all that you need. Now it don't mean that you just gonna have the entire knowledge of the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? But whatever you know at that time and stuff will be enough to lead those others.
That milk, that foundation.
It's the
It's
milk
important.
It's the milk that's actually going to save a lot of our people, man. Not the deep breakdowns, not the history. That's only up when somebody come to try to say that the gospel is wrong, and then we defend the gospel. The milk is going to get people saved.
If I ask you right now, give me something to prove that I'm an Israelite, could you give me some scriptures? Could you tell me any information? I mean, for real, right now, could you tell me?
Yeah.
All right, give me a scripture.
What you mean?
Like proving I'm an Israelite, any kind of prophecy, any kind of...
You got a scripture that proves that we the Israelites?
Jeremiah 17 and 4.
Anything else?
Jeremiah 14 and 2.
You want to go to it? I can put you on the spot, but I just want to see. This is what it's really about. All right?
I try to stick with the milk too, because I know that I ain't on no level,
I mean, and as long as what you know is enough and it's correct, you just have to add to it.
All right. Jeremiah chapter 14 and 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is going up.
Can you explain it?
Judah being the southern tribe, the Negroes, the Haitians, and the Jamaicans. And the gates is talking about the leadership. They are black unto the ground. The ground is different shades of brown. And the cry of Jerusalem is going up because, hey, the Lord, he hears the prayer of his people, man.
Yeah, just for the point that we're going into right now. This is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2. It says, "And the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men who shall be able to teach others also." So like the elder was going into, that's really what it's about, we building up ourselves first and foremost, to build up the elect, especially in the times that's coming, you know what I'm saying? Like the scripture says, it's gonna be men coming in that last minute, that last hour, so you might run across somebody, who's sincerely seeking, like it says, commit thou to faithful men, somebody who's truly seeking this word and seeking the Lord. So we gotta build ourselves up so that we'll be able to lead them in the right way, because we don't want to tell them the wrong thing and that blood be on our hands. That's also a thing that we gotta consider and fear, that we speaking the right words, the 100% truth, so that blood don't be on our hands. The blood will be on your hands if you teach them the wrong thing and they believe it.
Because when it comes down to His word and the doctrine, it's actually a blessing. If you give them something wrong, they curse you. You don't want to do it.
I got one for you. This Wisdom of Solomon 14, verse 13. It says, "Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such as them that be in trouble, and renounce corruption." But the first part, it says, "Now therefore set thine house in order." So at first and foremost, it starts off with us. We gotta make sure we on the right path. We got the right doctrines, and then we can go out and do that. That's the very first thing it says, and then it says, "And reprove thy people." So if we don't got the right thing, we can't. If we giving them, if what we have isn't sufficient, and we giving it off to them, that means we're not giving them 100% truth. It says, "Reprove thy people and comfort such as be in trouble, and renounce corruption." And like whatever our people are in trouble, like in your case, you had to hear these words, hey, to get you out of that trouble. And now out of that, what comes out of that is, hey, renounce corruption, hey, put off those, hey, keep putting off wickedness, keep eschewing evil, doing what you got to do. And hey, I hate to use that thing from the word, like each one teach one, that bullshit, but it's really like that though, because hey, the Lord might have it with you, the same word that you heard that you've been applying and putting in a good use, you give that on to somebody else, and so forth, Because hey, that's how it is in this truth, man. I was same way, as in the world, and then brother told me the truth. Now I am where I am now. Vice versa. That's how it is. You just keep giving off those wholesome words. You got anything else? You still got this rock too? I got to hold the
I think you did this rock.
I got one in track. This is 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. It says, "There have no temptation taken you," but it's like this 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. "There have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to men."
And see, the thing is, there's no new thing under the sun. Nobody's been tried more than Yahushua, and Yahushua defeated death. So we got the answers to all our problems. We got the scriptures. And whatever's written 4 times, written down for our learning. So any demon that comes up, we can battle it. As long as, hey, some demons are gonna be stronger, but you know what that means? That means only you. Now you gotta get stronger to beat this guy.
Yep.
It says, "But the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able."
And you said that was the first thing you said when you came up. You basically quoted that scripture. And it's like, hey, the Lord's not gonna put on you more than you can handle. He always leaves that way out for you. You know what I mean? And it's like those cartoons where it's just like, man, this motherfucker never died. The Lord always let him get out that jam. That's how it is with us, man. The Lord is always gonna let us get out that jam. We just gotta, hey, just stay on the path, man. As long as you don't deviate from that path, you golden.
What the scriptures say, if the Lord is for us, who can truly be against us?
Right.
Hey, you make even your enemies that be at peace with you. I be seeing my damn bosses and shit on the line. I be seeing people I know got to deal with, and it's like when they, they found out they going to the slave, they still be like, well, it's nothing they can do, man. It's like nothing. As long as you apply it,
It's over
you
with.
can't make it up. It's the Lord. It's nothing they can really do.
It's over with.
I mean, they're gonna try to fight. I mean, you know, they're gonna try to put some of us to death. But even putting us in the death, hey, we the first ones to be risen up.
That's right.
So we can't be beat as long as we do the right thing.
It seems like when I tell these heathens at the store, you know, that I'm an Israelite, they get scared.
I wouldn't look, honestly. Don't tell anybody right at this point. You know what I mean? Just keep
They
it.
ask me what I believe in. I say I'm an Israelite.
The thing is, like in the world, but I kind of perceive it. You're not really there yet. Well, I mean, you'll get there. But the scriptures say, be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. It's not always profitable to really like tell people what you're about. You know what I mean?
Because I was gonna say, because the scripture says that we're sheep in the midst of wolves. You know, and people hate us. John 15 and I believe it's 17 talks about if the world loved you or it will treat you as one of his own. We're not a part of this world, so we're not gonna get treated.
Hey,
So
I'm sorry, I apologize. I was just in the hospital, right? And I got put in the hospital because my people who I stay with, you know, they believe in white Jesus. And I kept telling them I don't believe in white Jesus. And they put me in the hospital and said I was crazy because I was using the name of Yahweh while Yahweh shot. So when they put me in the hospital, all I did was prophesy to the people in the hospital. They kept telling me take my meds. I say, dude, you need to grow some hair on your head. You need to start letting your hair bald. You know, so I was just in there prophesizing the whole time. And then the damn staff member, I was reading my Bible. The staff member told me start reading your Bible out loud. I don't give a fuck about you being an Israelite. And then I kept reading my Bible out loud. The next day, him and about 2-3 other guys beat the shit out of me, man. So I feel like I was persecuted for the word's sake.
You were, but you know what the lesson let me learn out of that is? Make that same point you just made.
because we're sheep in the midst of wolves. Because we got to realize that the world is an enemy to Yahweh Shai.
Right.
You know, when Yahweh Shai came on the scene, they put him to death. You know, they didn't want to listen to him. They didn't want to. They didn't want to listen to the prophets of old. If they didn't listen to the prophets of old, they didn't listen to Yahweh Shai. They're not going to listen to us. You know,
right.
We're no greater than our master. They put Yahweh Shai. They persecuted him. They're going to persecute us as well. That's why the famine, the word is coming in. You know,
right?
Really, you got gold, brother. You got fucking gold. Everybody wants to get this gold from you. You know what I mean? If you got a fucking, like, say you got a shiny ass block of gold, right? And everybody's looking for this one piece. You seen the movie Book of Eli?
Yeah.
He had the gold. He had the riches. Everybody was looking for that book. And he had that book, but he couldn't tell people he had the book. But he had to utilize everything and apply everything in that book. See, we have that. And everybody's going to try to either beat it out of you, take it from you, or put you to death for it. So it's not profitable to really be out here telling people you're this. I don't tell people I'm Israel. People ask me what I believe in, I'll be like, not to say I'm on a level, but like where the Lord, grab John 3. Grab John 3. Yeah, go ahead.
This is Proverbs chapter 22, verse 3. It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. You know, so the thing is that it's not wise.